So where's the office? Back at division?
In the office, baby. Going out.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Sets, fires, touchdown, Garrett Wilson. Wow. In the end zone. Oh, what a catch. Jeremy Rucker, give me that. Fields, the throw, steps up, delivers deep down the field. He's got a receiver. Olave, touchdown, Buckeyes.
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
What is up, folks? We are back. Season 5. This is the Season 5 premiere, guys. I have a cake right here with a candle on it. I have some fucking party favors. Season 5 launching in a big way. Great news from the Big Ten. As good as it can be, I guess, at this late date anyway. As always, folks, this show is commercial free. I'd like to remind people of that. Sometimes they listen to a lot of Buckeye podcasts, which all have commercials now. Not a big fan, personally, especially when a commercial lands right in the middle of somebody's sentence on the podcast.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah. There's no rules. It's wild
Vietnam.
West. It's terrible editing, yeah. We are now on Amazon. The Buckeye Cast is now on Amazon, so dial up your girlfriend Alexa when you're feeling lonely and tell her.
Shout out to Bezos. Shout out to
Buckeye
Bezos.
Cast, yeah. So yeah, ask Alexa when you want to hear the Buckeye Cast. As always, subscribe and follow the show. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Twitter is the best avenue to get our attention with some questions or comments or whatever. And review the show. If you're going to review the show, you might as well give us 5 stars. Why fuck around and give us 1? As always, hit the supply store. We've got a shitload of new designs in there. Keep hitting the store. Always good fun there.
Love the merch.
So yeah, to start off the Season 5 premiere, we need some quick bourbon talk with a sprinkle of some of that yummy goodness. Sean, you had anything out of the ordinary lately?
Actually, I just went over Buddy's today, and we tried a little bit of a Booker's bottle that he just got.
Nice. Okay.
That was very nice.
Been a while. How do you compare that to one of your favorites? Is that like middle of the road?
No, I'd say that Booker's is it's up there. It's one of my favorites. Hard to come by, but pretty strong, but smooth yet.
Oh, dual threat.
I would highly recommend it.
Nice. Jeff, how's your dabbling in the bourbon world? You touching the sweet nectar?
I'm a plain guy. I'm still drinking my bullet. I love my bullet. I keep it basic.
Yeah. Nice.
Tell you what, if you want to keep it basic, you go with that Jim Beam Black. That's a nice cheap bourbon that's smooth as silk.
If I'm not spending $100 a bottle, why does it have to be cheap? Bullet's a good bourbon, I believe. I believe it's a good bourbon for a good price.
Yeah, no, it is.
It seems like I'm not looking for just some cheap. The Jim Beam Black label. Okay.
Yep. Give it a whirl.
I still got to dial that up next time I go to the store. I got to look for that again. They were out of stock that one time a few months ago. I looked for it at ABC, so I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's a little hidden gem. It's a little insider tip for you listeners.
Yeah, there you go. How about that Blanton's I scored in Atlanta? The first good
Joe, what is the deal? What is that bottle?
Atlanta I ever.
That's the coolest looking bottle I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's Blanton's, made by Buffalo Trace. I would compare it to an Eagle Rare, but maybe a little smoother
and a little rarer,
and a lot more expensive.
All right. Well, hey, at least save me just a sip the next time I get over to your neck of the woods there.
This bar is fully stocked, dude.
Cocked and rocked and ready.
I'll see Blanton's on so many different menus, and you order it, and they're like, "We're out. We don't have it." I mean, it's just hard to come by.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant in Atlanta that day, and I was like asking. They had a great bourbon list of like all the Pappies. They had all the Stags, and I'm like, okay, give me the 15-year Pappy. That's my first choice. He's like, we're out of that. So I put a line through it. I'm like, all right, how about the 18? No, we're out of that. And he basically just X'd out all the Pappies. I'm like,
tell me where you got them. Where are we at?
Got no Stags. I'm like, all right, let's start from scratch here.
Right.
What are you willing to let me have at this point?
I'll have the Buffalo.
That's what I ended up with, was fucking Buffalo or Basil Hayden, you know. So anyway, yeah, I did score that bottle of Blanton's in Atlanta, outside Atlanta in Decatur, little suburb of Atlanta. So
yeah,
it was nice.
Dungeon family, yeah, okay, old outcast
for that bitch. So, but well worth it. I've been looking for that for months and selling for hundreds and hundreds online.
You got it for $150.
Yeah. I had to pull the trigger.
What's the big markup online? I mean, you just found a spot or what?
It's hard to find, yeah. Yeah, I found a little Buckmart liquor store that
nice.
Yeah. Guy probably owns a rub and tug too, so got me a little Blanton's handle on the side.
Oh, asshole.
What'd you call me? But yeah, this is the time of year, guys, heading into the fall, where they start releasing these seasonal, specialty, rare things.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw Buffalo Trace is releasing an Eagle Rare 17-year aged bourbon. That is definitely in my crosshairs. I'm gonna look for that. There's a new Stag. I'm not sure what the aging is on that, but it's a obviously aged longer Stag bourbon. So keep an eye out for those rare ones. They'll be coming out now through Christmas. So, getting on to the show. The Big Shit Show is back. I have to ask you guys, Jeff, did Kevin Warren redeem himself in your eyes?
No. No.
We got a season.
I don't think he had anything to do with that.
Okay.
I don't know what he actually. To be honest, I don't know what he had a thing to do with. I mean, he's had. We've heard him in 2 press conferences in a month and a half, maybe. I don't know what's going on with that guy. I don't even know. I want to know if he's down in Mississippi right now, checking on his boy at his school. I don't know. I have no idea what to think with that guy. I don't. He does not impress me one bit, and I can't believe that the Big Ten, and I don't know how he's elected, or how he's chosen as commissioner of the league. Is it the presidents or the chancellors that vote, like a kind of like NFL owners to a commissioner?
Exactly.
Is it okay? So I mean, for them to all vote this guy in, but then almost immediately the first crisis, he's just to bed, and there's already rumblings of letting him go. Like those only can come from the people that hired him. So like that's awful quick. I don't know. I seen this guy's career flash before his own eyes. I think.
Sean, what do you think? Do you think Kevin Warren and the presidents kind of bounced back here with a good plan, or how do you look at it?
No, not at all. I think their feet
that
were
wasn't
to the
my
fire.
question, Joe.
I think their feet were to the fire, and they panicked and made rash, stupid decisions the whole way through. And frankly, I'm glad we have football back, but this was another rash, stupid way that they rolled this out. There's no reason you couldn't have started October 10th like we were talking and give yourself a little wiggle room. Kevin Warren, to me, it's been a disgrace. Now, maybe Jeff's right that, what has he done? He's just hired by these guys to be a mouthpiece, but he sure wasn't a fucking cheerleader for playing football and trying to go and sell it to the schools. He was, he seemed to be on the other side of that argument. So I don't know what he did or didn't do necessarily, but that guy's a chump as far as I'm concerned. And no, I've not a big fan of how the Big Ten handled this. I'm glad we're back. I'm glad they finally came to their senses, but it shouldn't have played out like this.
Right. This was horribly launched from the second or the first schedule, you could say, the first post-Corona schedule that they launched, which is actually the second schedule of the season. But anyway, yeah, and then they cancel it 5 days later. They canceled the season entirely, and now all of a sudden we're back after he said it wouldn't be revisited.
Well, they canceled it based on information that nobody shares with us, and there was a vote or there wasn't a vote, or the consent,
The lack of transparency is a major issue.
And so nobody should trust anything. I mean, he has given no reason for anyone to trust what he says now. And rightfully so. Like, what you guys didn't show us how you decided what you decided. But now we're supposed to just listen to you as you're the word on truth.
Well,
no, fuck that, man. You got to show something, especially when you're making monumental decisions like that.
Joe sent that text the other day, about Nebraska dropping the lawsuit and then whoever else dropping the FOIA request. And I responded, I was all for dropping the lawsuit. That's fine. But the FOIA request, no. I want to know how all this went down. I want to know what was said, what was done, who voted on what, and how you came to this decision, because I don't want it to fucking happen again. So let's figure out what happened here.
Sean, can you explain for the audience what those requests are, the FOIAs?
Freedom of Information Act. So it's been I think it's been subpoenaed that if I don't know if those files and those meetings are subject to the FOIA, but it was submitted that someone wants those records.
The request,
those are part of the public records, and we need to see them. They do it in government a lot.
These are state universities. These are state.
Most of them.
They're not private. So
13 of them are.
I'm sorry?
13 of them are public.
Rutgers is private, correct?
No, Northwestern. Good try.
I knew it was one of them two fucking idiots.
So to me, yeah, I want the transparency that Mr. Wade's dad, that Sean Wade's dad wanted, and some of these other people. Like, what happened here? And was this, were you guys doing it because you Big Ten presidents, who probably aren't the biggest sports fans to begin with, are just there and say, oh no, let's go ahead and cancel it? I mean, just because you can? I mean, that's not fair to the kids, to the fans, to anyone.
Yeah, let's just do this because we think we're king shit.
And again, maybe they had great reasoning, maybe they had great meetings, maybe they had detailed data that they were like, hey, you know what, this is just too big a risk. But for me to have closure on this, I need to know that process is handled in a way that is acceptable and not just a bunch of these elitists sitting in the room saying, no, let's not play. You got to give me a little more than that.
Well, that's what I think. This kind of scramble at the last minute to put together a fall season was partially covering up, don't you think? They didn't release a lot of material that would be discovered, whether it was in the lawsuit from the Nebraska players or in the FOIA requests.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe they were doing it so some of that stuff doesn't come to light.
Exactly.
Very possibly.
But when you don't communicate and show everybody why you came up with what, you leave it open for people to guess your motives. Explain your motives so people don't just run wild with theories, and because that's what we don't know what to think. We think I think some of the most diabolical shit. If it's a political ploy by certain presidents pushing other presidents, but if it's not that, then tell us it isn't that. But if you don't.
Yeah.
You leave people to just make up whatever conclusion they want.
Well, the big issue right now is they spent, 5 weeks between the time they canceled the season?
Yeah, fucking a football.
Right. And then launching this new schedule, which the initial schedule they laid out had plenty of flexibility built in And that was their big word. This is flexible schedule. We have plenty of bye weeks. This shit can go on forever, whatever. Now it's bang, 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 8 weeks in a row, and then quote unquote Champions Week, week 9, whatever the fuck that means. So they have zero flexibility. So if a program gets shut down, a la Rutgers, then they're fucked.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. They got 40 guys right now tested.
Then they're all set.
Can you imagine how many of the chicks in Madison? Like 90% of them probably have corona. Some whores.
Because they're with the same 5 guys.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. There's whores all over the place. Spreading the virus. We got to get rid of the whores to kill the virus.
That's all right.
Who's going to take that stance?
Not me.
I'm not running on that.
No, it's not my ticket. So yeah, we got zero flexibility. I mean, and these protocols, I got to wonder if these are too strict. I mean, for us to get in an 8-game season.
Oh my God! Oh, it does sound ridiculous. That rolling average shit when Laurinaitis and Bishop were breaking it down when the news came through. I'm listening on the radio. I'm like, what the fuck? What are they talking? Because they're reading it as they're telling us, and I'm like, I don't get what's this rolling average shit. This 5% of the population. Is that the student population or the city population that they're in?
No, it's the population.
Like what
is? So you got the team positivity rate is one factor. So
yeah, it can't be above a certain point. If
it's greater than 5% for your team, that means all the players. Then that's a red. They got this red, green, orange system.
Oh fuck!
Right.
We're under like mid-level terrorist threat.
Yeah. This is
airport.
DEFCON 5. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like we're international airports are at a level yellow today. Yeah. Remember that
for the last 18 years they've been at.
Yeah. You can just shade us in with marker on the yellow.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into these.
We're going
details.
Sharpie on the yellow here.
So, but these protocols are really fucking strict. And like I said, Rutgers is going to be lucky to get 5 games in my opinion.
And who gives a fuck? I mean,
they're in that boat too. I think Wisconsin can probably clean up their act pretty well. They're not in a huge city, so these guys might have to stay in for 2 months.
Barry Alvarez is going to lie. He owns the city. He owns the state. Barry Alvarez will make shit happen. He looks like the kind of guy that knows some people that will make some shit happen. Wisconsin.
Well, if you got 40-something kids and you got to be quarantined for 21 days, what state of that in? Say they all got it today. You're basically playing.
We're 4 weeks away.
He's also an athletic director that said, we need 3 weeks. He said, all we need is 3 weeks. Me and Coach Chris said, team will be ready in 3 weeks. I saw that quote. That was a couple weeks ago. But he said, that's all we would need.
That was prior to 40 dudes testing positive.
Maybe. I'd say, he's setting, Coach Alvarez is a grinder. He's setting lofty goals for his team.
Yeah.
Has
anybody tested him?
The biggest thing though is that 21 days after a positive test.
Yeah, that's the big one.
3 weeks, bro. And what if it's a false positive? I mean, they need to be able to retest, and they need to be able to evaluate that.
Yeah, but the accuracy of these tests is supposed to be so much better and quick. It's like a 15-minute result, and you're not going to have the false positives like you did a few months ago. All around.
Now, do we fail to mention the fact that President Trump had a conversation with Kevin Warren on the phone, and then the ball actually, it seemed to me like the ball really started getting rolling days after that conversation with the president. And I think that was when the rapid testing was, like, the Big Ten was given some of those by the government, giving them help.
They actually turned them down and are getting their own tests.
The Big Ten turned them down, because there's too many Democratic presidents in those universities.
Okay.
They didn't want to take anything from the president.
Let's not say that.
Even though it's true, let's not say
Okay,
that.
okay, all right, okay. I won't say it again. I promise. All right, so I won't say it again.
Just say these
I won't
presidents
say
have
I
the
won't
blues.
I won't say this is turned into a political positioning act. I won't say it
Kevin,
again.
You know my position. I feel it was political from the get on this thing.
Kevin
Probably
Warren
why they're
thinks it's
hiding
the
those meeting
blues.
minutes. They're
Yeah.
probably in those meetings saying we could really fuck Trump if we cancel this shit, and it backfired on them like everything else.
Right. So
We could have that podcast if you want, Sean. I'm with you. Joe, you want to go that route?
let's table that and
Table it. All right, we'll table
let's
it.
put a pin in that. Let's put a pin in that and come back to it. I'm here to talk about football, and we don't need to talk about yesterday and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that, or even last month. All I know is Wyatt Davis and Sean Wade are coming back. They're fucking back, baby.
Do you like that?
Culture.
Does that tell
They
you
come-
something? Quiddy Pay?
Isn't he back?
I don't know. Is he back? Nico Collins?
I don't know if he's back or not.
He's not. Signed with an agent.
Micah Parsons is definitely not back.
Yeah.
He's not back. I was wondering about him if he was coming back.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
I thought the guy from Minnesota had an agent, but they were still trying to get him back.
Oh, he's coming back. Rondale Moore is another one that's up in the air.
Oh, I hope he comes back too.
So let's talk about Davis and Wade. What do you guys think about the impact of that? Obviously, it strengthens a couple of areas where they weren't necessarily weak, but they would have had to fill some major holes. What do you think, Jeff, about Davis and Wade returning?
Oh, it's huge. Two leaders, two captains, two of the best players in the country. I mean, what else can you say? You're getting two guys that might have been first round picks last year, are definitely slated to be first round draft picks. They're coming back because they want to be with their brothers. They got some shit they want to settle. That's got to give juice to the whole program.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not just Denzel Ward going to sit out the bowl game to get ready for the NFL draft. These guys, they want to come back for the university, for all of them. It's huge. I don't know. I mean, it's
Sean,
as big as it can be. I mean, it's a huge thing. Huge.
Sean, you think this kind of hurts the depth, helps the depth? How do you look at it from like?
Well, I like the leadership of having Davis back on that O-line, absolute road grader. Guard. Him next to Myers and that crew, they're going to be just fine. I think it may be the best O-line in the country with Davis. If he's gone, we got some dudes. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be that big of a step down. Maybe not the playing experience, but we've got a lot of dudes, I feel like right now, that can play O-line. Wade, I feel that one's a little more important, frankly. As we know, we got dudes, but ain't none of them ever played football in college. So
Right.
I feel Sean Wade is that helps me rest a little better at night, knowing, okay, at least someone in the secondary has played before. And again, I know we got some dudes back there. I'm anxious to see some of them play. I've been wanting to see some of them play for a couple of years, but I think that's really going to help back there. And just what his dad did, and and then I don't know. Big fan of both those guys right now, to be honest.
Yeah, it's rare that you see kids. I mean, we're in weird times anyways, but yeah, it's rare that you see kids commit or declare for the draft and then come back. I mean, really, if the Big Ten hadn't dragged their feet for so long, we wouldn't be in this fucking predicament anyway.
Well, part of me, my conspiracy mind makes me think that did they do that also, to apply more pressure?
Yeah,
and the Big Ten's going, oh my gosh, all our guys are bailing, which they are. The Minnesota guy, Purdue guy, Micah Parsons, these Buckeyes, everybody's bailing, and that's also making these schools shit themselves.
Yeah.
Because I never understood the mentality unless you were just 100% convinced that it's done. especially when it was getting close here. It's like, well, why don't you just wait 2 weeks? I mean, it isn't going to change your life at all. You just wait 2 weeks to either declare or not declare. Now, maybe there was getting enrolled in classes or something like that I'm missing. That's another part of it. But to me, it was they didn't need to opt out before they opted back in.
I
But
think
it worked, and
yeah. I think it's more of like a sense of direction and waking up every morning knowing what you're doing, what your goal is, when you don't even know every day if there's going to be a season until January. You're like, as I could see these guys saying, fuck this, man. I'm making my own direction. I'm taking things the way I want to go. I'm not waiting for these fucking talking heads and these presidents to make up their fucking mind.
Yeah, but hanging out at the Woody with Mick, probably isn't a bad way to go.
I get that. I'm not arguing that at all. I mean, but it's like, why am I here if, these guys keep dragging their feet for another month? I mean, it was 5 weeks, dude, since they canceled the season and then came back and restarted it. What if they kept dragging? We were hung like all the players.
Well, I'm sure Sean Wade's dad came back and said, "Yeah, I've got no confidence in these clowns at all." It's like, so kid.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like I was in Chicago or outside of Chicago with 40 other parents, and the motherfuckers weren't even open. Like they were at the Big Ten offices, and the offices were closed.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. So let's get into the schedule real quick. There's only 8 fucking games, so it shouldn't take long. So here we go. 5 weeks away, right? 5 weeks from yesterday. We are, October 24th. Nebraska comes to town. Punishment for their lawsuit against the Big Ten, I'm sure.
That's such bullshit.
Right? I mean, but it almost looks so obvious. Like, okay, Nebraska, we see your lawsuit. We raised you at Ohio
Poor
State.
Nebraska. I love Nebraska now, by the way.
Right.
I feel bad for those guys. I hope we don't.
Just
I hope we don't put
trying to make
70
it.
on them. I think 55 is plenty to score against Nebraska, and I don't really think we should score much more than that.
Oh yeah,
just keep it nice.
Keep it respectable. Yeah. So at 10:31, Halloween, we go to Penn State, sans whiteout. What do you think of that?
Sans Micah Parsons.
Sans Micah Parsons, but
sans a white Micah Parsons.
Probably going to be a big noon kickoff, which will damper those. Here's the athletic trivia question. When's the last time Ohio State played at Penn State at noon? I don't know. 90s?
Maybe and maybe never. Maybe right when Penn State joined the conference. But man, I mean, we've been playing in that whiteout for fucking decades straight.
Will they'll still have the soundboard up there and that tiger, yeah, that lion.
I would just, if I was the sound guy, I would just put that on a loop and then take a nap. Just fucking play it the whole game.
Just lay on the button.
Yeah.
You know what? brings up a question. I know what a lion is, but I do not know what a Nittany lion is. What is a Nittany?
It's more like a panther.
It sounds like a Nittany lion.
A fucking nit? You Nittany? Yeah.
Like it's been...
Nit.
Hey, Nits. What do you say there, Nits?
See a little lady, Nits. He's a lion from New Jersey.
Hey, it's good Nits.
All right, so then the schedule really tightens up here. Personally, going back to week 2, not a big fan of Penn State week 2, but we'll deal with it.
Hey, we get to warm up with Nebraska first. We're all right.
I know.
I don't give a fuck, dude. Yeah, give us Penn State, but give us Penn State at noon, second week of the season. No fucking problem.
Yeah.
So they don't have Micah Parsons.
Right. So then Rutgers and Maryland back to back.
There you go.
Rutgers comes to town with their dirty asses. I think we just don't let them come into Columbus at all and ruin it for everybody.
I say we try to beat them with our only freshmen and sophomores. and don't play anybody else.
There you go.
Like, so
Don't even bring them into the stadium until halftime.
Don't risk infection. You just
Yeah.
like Justin Fields. You're in the press box.
Well,
You're not leaving until they're on the bus.
Guys, there aren't going to be any fans anyway, so let's just play them like at Pickerington North. Their stadium, you know.
Yeah,
Or
Upper Arlington's right around the corner. Right,
Capitol. Let's play them at Capitol Stadium.
Capitol. What Capitol Stadium?
Capitol, the Division III or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Heidelberg.
Yeah.
Memphis.
Okay. I was saying, I was thinking from I'm like, fucking Capitol. What are you talking
I say, I sit on you.
about? I said, I get it.
Then we go to Maryland. Again, may need to bow out of that
Crab
one.
cakes and football.
Yeah, and Corona. That's what Maryland does. So yeah, a couple back-to-back JV games there to get all the young boys in.
Sure.
Then come back November 21st. Indiana comes to town. I'm sure that what's his name, Tom Ryan, will have them fired up and treat it like it's a Super Bowl.
They do have a good team this year, though.
That might be our.
some-
You're snoozing on that. That might be our second toughest game.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I heard some people on
Okay.
Big Ten Network, a couple of the analysts, I forget which ones, some of the non-player guys, I don't know, but I had a couple guys talking about Indiana finishing ahead of Michigan in the East.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know much. I don't know. Honestly, don't know that much about Indiana, but a lot of hype.
It's right next to Ohio, right before Illinois.
I've heard that.
A lot going on. Tons going on in Indiana.
A lot of
The
deer. A lot of
college.
deer on the highways.
Okay.
Um,
But they might be Michigan, and I heard Michigan is up north.
There you go. Yeah, you did. The 28th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we go to Illinois. Glad I'm not covering that game for some media outlet. That would suck, dude.
It's Thanksgiving weekend, and you don't even get the big game. You get Illinois
And you're in Champaign.
and Champaign.
Bring
Thanksgiving
your own
and Champaign.
champagne to Champagne.
Why am I drinking fucking dirty bourbon
Yeah.
in Champagne on Thanksgiving? What a nightmare.
That's all she had. So yeah, another cakewalk. Then they go to, so we got back-to-back away games at East Lansing. The toilet next to the other toilet.
They're dirty there too. They're all coroned up. I think the whole campus.
Yeah.
Right,
They
and
probably-
they're fucking garbage. They don't want nothing to do with us. They don't want us to come in town as much as we don't want to come in town.
They didn't want to play football, man. I guarantee you, they were one of the first schools in that original quote-unquote vote.
Yeah, with their new quote, with their stuff. Yeah, they're not.
No.
They're not into it.
Yeah. And then on the 12th of December, we got the team up north coming to Columbus with their nasty asses. Already talking shit. Quiddy Pay on Twitter saying that we got an easy schedule.
Saying that we did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, because theirs is. What's their schedule like? I'm curious. I honestly do not know. I glanced at the schedules today, all the league, but did not pay attention to.
The only difference you have, the only difference you have is the crossover games, right? You play everybody in these. Their crossovers are at Minnesota to start, and then Wisconsin.
Okay, well,
so hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Exactly.
Don't they play for some dumb trophy? Michigan plays for dumb trophies with damn near every team they play.
Yes.
Right.
So
they haven't. I think they have it. They definitely have something with Minnesota.
Yeah. Is that the Paul Bunyan?
I think Minnesota and Wisconsin had the Paul Bunyan Axe.
Okay.
But yeah, I know they have something with both teams.
Right. We play for gold pants, so
yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't get any.
We could get rid of that Illabuk, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, That poor turtle should have never even been in that frat house.
Poor turtle.
Stupidest
Did
idea.
he couldn't even get out of the way.
Then we have this Champions Week, which is week, WEAK.
I'm not sure yet. I mean, who wants to see that Maryland Illinois 6-6 seed matchup? That's gonna be classic.
Well, we all need to know who the worst two teams in each division are, don't we?
And then have them prove it to see who the actual worst is.
Fuck.
What trophy? What trophy we going to
Right.
give that person? We need to. Like, we have Illabucks. We have Paul Bunyan's axe. We got whatever the fuck else in this league.
Don't get
Throw a bag of trash out there. The winner gets this.
a couch on fire.
Yeah, a burning couch.
Yeah.
We get the light of couch outside your locker room.
But you know, if Michigan is third in the East, they're gonna hang a fucking trophy if they win that third versus third in the West.
We got
yeah.
the burning trophy. We got the burning.
Take down a up and coming Iowa.
There you go.
Is Iowa allowed to be up and coming ever again? Is Kirk Ferentz ever allowed to be up and coming?
Weird things happen now.
He's gonna be up and coming out of the grave soon.
I don't know.
I like him. They were like with.
You like him?
Brett.
You like Kirk Ferentz, Steve?
I like him.
He'll get a new contract though. I don't care how many feet deep he is.
Good. He deserves it.
He's like the dude with the arm in a Michael Jackson Thriller video, like coming out through the ground.
Any games stand out to you guys in this schedule? I at least Michigan's the last game of the season, but December 12th, it's going to be fucking nasty outside. Like some of these last 3-4 games that are outdoors, I'm not even looking forward to those.
I know. November football is already dicey enough in the Big Ten, regions.
Right. Well, Joe, I got to ask you, if you're looking at the schedule right now, because I don't have access to it.
Yep.
When does Michigan play at Wisconsin? What's the date on
Wisconsin's
that?
at Michigan.
Nope. November 14th.
But they're at Ann Arbor.
Yeah. October 24th, they go to Minnesota. That's an open air outdoor.
Well, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking like Des Moines, Madison, and Minneapolis are probably the three worst places to be in November, December.
Well,
so who's playing? That timing might play a factor too, and like how bad the weather is.
They got to go to Happy Valley, November 28th. Or I'm sorry, that's at home. No, my bad. That's at Ann Arbor. They really don't go anywhere that bad other than Rutgers if you can get out with your skin. But
right. Well, you never know what the weather. How I was talking to a Michigan fan the other day. Y'all might know him, and he said, "Fucking December 12th." Man, he's like, "I hope there's 3 feet of fucking snow on the ground in Columbus." Yeah. And I said, "That's your only fucking chance of our speed not being a factor in that game." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm hoping."
That's why Wyatt Davis is pretty key this year as well. I think with the weather and starting this late in the year, I think this is going to be old-fashioned, ground and pound, Big Ten, sloppy type of season. I think I don't think gonna be many passing records broke this year. I don't believe.
No,
there's going to be a lot of running the football.
Yeah, no records get broken this year offensively.
And we have the talent to win any way they fucking want to. Oh, there's 2 feet of snow on the ground and it's sleeting and the fucking wind's nasty as fuck. Oh, do you need to run the ball 50 times? We can do that. We can run the ball 50 times in a game.
Oh yeah, and our running back.
We can run 95 plays and run 50 running.
Our number one running back went down, so we went and got a new number one running back, and the other one got healthy, so we got running backs now.
Right. Somehow Ryan Day's just going crazy about the fucking recovery that Master Teague has made and how much he has dedicated to his recovery and how good he is, how healthy he is. And then Trey Sermon's the first new incoming Buckeye to get his black stripe off. meaning he's made himself part of the program.
And my boy Steel Chambers is right there in that
and Steel Chambers is healthy, and Marcus Crowley, that he said, was still coming back, but looking great, but still coming back, not 100%. So you got three.
And then you got Mayan Williams, the freshman, right?
Yeah, fat boy. Yeah, he might end up redshirting. It reminds me a lot of Mike Weber.
Everybody's redshirting this year, dude.
Well,
literally, everybody.
Right,
everybody's getting a free year, so doesn't matter.
Right. Okay.
I wanted to point out a few games on the schedule, especially for Penn State, since they seem to be the only real competition for us, especially in our division. They got Iowa coming to town in November. Then they go to Michigan. Say what you will about Michigan, but when those two get together, it's usually a party.
Second week of the season, Penn State at Michigan?
No, November 28th after Thanksgiving.
Oh, November. Okay. That's right. We got Penn State second week.
We'll already know a lot about Penn State by then and Michigan by then.
Yeah, sure. I think that game's interesting to me. Sparty is no longer an interesting game, no matter who they're playing.
No,
it's good. I mean, Sparty Rutgers is an interesting game
to them,
right?
To me.
If you take the under,
I don't know. There's some hope from some of these guys. No, we got new culture, new this, new that. We'll see. You got to have some players.
No, that's it. I mean, your culture, you need to start now, but it takes you 2 years to get players, 2 or 3 years. Because one recruiting class brings on momentum for the next and success. Ohio State proved the blueprint. Land a big class, have success with that class. You bring momentum class by class, but you got to back it up with achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's how Urban did it. Urban went 12 and 0, 12 and 1, 12 and 1, repeatedly back to back to back. That's how you will build a class and get more classes to come. You got to have success with them. Michigan State they haven't had the classes or the success yet. So Michigan State's at least 3 years away.
Oh,
I mean,
maybe 3 decades, maybe 3 decades away, man.
A lot.
I mean, it could, dude. It might be. I'm just saying, if all goes 100% right for them, and they could be legitimate in 3 years. But that's what it takes. Yeah, it takes.
But if there's a coach good enough, to make them legitimate in 3 years, he's going to take the next job somewhere else.
In the fourth year, right. In the fourth year, yeah, he's gone, right. That's what all these teams. People got to be, and the only way. I don't know. The only way we're going to get like those top line coaches that say the SEC has all the best coaching. But these teams, these people are coming in for these jobs at programs that are having problems because that's the only reason the jobs are available because it's a Big Ten job. But they're like, Ohio State's thriving at its highest octane redlining, for a long time right now. Why do I really want to take this job? Why don't I go build somewhere else and then land a big job? Because I'm gonna get my fucking head kicked in for 3 years trying to get my team ready to try to compete with these guys and hope they slow down. I think that has to enter people's minds. And I know these coaches are that winner's mentality and you want to be the best, you want to beat the best. But come on, man, reality is reality. The college football is survival. These motherfuckers don't care about anything when it comes down to other than their salary and security.
Well, hold on. I think for any Big Ten coach to compare themselves to Ohio State is fool's gold, and they're just pissing up a tree. Penn State is the only one even within smelling distance of us, and that's still not that close. We are Bama, Clemson. We are nationally top 3 to top 5. Conference, forget about it. Everybody else is is notches below us, not just one notch, multiple. I mean, for another coach like Harbaugh or even D'Antonio when he was there, for them, or even little fucking Rowboater out there in Minnesota, for them to even think that they can compete with Ohio State on a regular basis is insane. Not even that's not their reality.
I don't know. I think I think if you're coaching a group of guys, and damn it, you work with them, you sweat with them. He thinks they can beat them. He's got to have the perfect plan, but it happens. Iowa.
No, I'm saying
Purdue.
compete with on a regular basis, not win one game every 5 or 10 years. That's nothing. Anybody can do that. I mean, Maryland almost fucking beat us a couple years ago. So I'm saying
Yeah, but Haskins had double overtime.
Compete with us for the conference. Ohio State is steps above. It's not even fucking close.
For sure.
I mean, and for these other schools, I know they want to say that their target is us or we're their Super Bowl, but yeah, it's because you guys can't do anything else. You guys are limited. And like I said, Penn State is close. They're not there yet, but
they're definitely the closest. Michigan's all but given up.
Yeah, Michigan is 2 steps below that.
But I don't think they're even trying anymore. I think Michigan has, I think it just feels like they've resigned the fact that
I went on.
We're something different now. We're not going to say
every person says they're going to get killed by Ohio State.
Yeah, that's
and none of them really care.
They should. Yeah, it's healthy for them to understand that because it's delusional to think otherwise. Look at the talent. The talent gap is obvious. I guess if you almost, it's not healthy for yourself mentally, to keep thinking. I think we got a chance this year. Things go right. We got a couple guys. No, you don't. No, they have no shot. It's not. I don't know. It's not competition. I don't think it is. It's just there's a little bit of the rivalry still, but we're playing at home this year.
That actually sets up better for them. That hey, if we're gonna have to go to Columbus, at least we don't got to go there with 105,000.
Sure.
So I'm sure they're that's actually a bonus for them this year.
Best case scenario. And it's late in the year,
and they still got to play that team. And and who knows what's going to happen with this virus
if we get to that.
Sure.
I mean, that's the last game.
Exactly.
I was hoping that would be the second or third, or keep it Thanksgiving weekend or something.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was going to be okay with it being somewhere in the middle or whatever, somewhere in the schedule, just for them trying to make sure they got it in. But we're not. But you don't really know if it's better to do early or if it was better to wait till late. I still don't think that even the people making the decisions have a clear idea whether maybe it was better to start at the beginning at the end of August. Start early.
Themselves into a corner by canceling it 5 days after releasing a schedule, and now
so
they're version of a fucking schedule.
Yes. And they're not gonna go back on what they just decided. They can't. Like they're all in now. Like all the chips are in. So they're like, fuck it, we got to ride with this. Just don't say anything. Yeah. Don't make a big deal about this is the wrong time.
So this is kind of question. You guys,
we don't know. Maybe they should have been. They could have been. Maybe they should have been playing since late August and said, fuck it, let's try to get this in as much as we can. And if we have to stop, we can stop, and then we got time to restart. Like. Right. The Big Ten tried to do. Yeah. It's still back to the point. Like, there's got to be someone asking Kevin Warren in a press conference at some point saying, "Why did you put a schedule out and then 3 days? Was it 3 days? I believe 3 days. 3 or 4 days later. 5 days later. 5 days later, you cancel the season with not to be, looked at again. Right. Why? What was the reasoning behind it? What was the decision? Why was it?
Right.
Because why you put out the schedule then?
This kind of sets up my question to you guys, and I think
it has to be answered. That has to be answered. That always sits with me.
Right, I get that, but this is the more important question regarding the football season, and this is what I really wanted to ask you guys: is what kind of impact does this have on the college football playoff committee if, say, we don't get 8 games in. Say Rutgers has to cancel, Maryland has to cancel, and we end up going 6-0, and then win the Big Ten championship game. So we go 7-0. Is that enough to say the SEC and Alabama or the ACC and Clemson, they pull off a full 10-game slate? Is 7? What's the limit to get that respect where we're still in the Final Four? You know, what do you think, Sean?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a number. I think the games that you do play, you better look damn good. I mean, there's no margin for error. If a game or two against Rutgers or whatever gets scrapped, I don't think that's going to break you. If the Penn State and Michigan games are the two that get scrapped, you know, that's going to be tough, even if they do count as wins. It's like, well, dude, you didn't beat anybody all year. So I think you're going to have to basically beat the brakes off everybody to have a chance. But if you're eking out and, you know, basically not covering, you know, winning by 7 against Maryland or 14 against Maryland instead of 30, you know, then they might look at it and say, well, Ohio State, you're better than all those teams, but we don't think you got in here. So I don't know. I think you'll have to see the product on the field, and if it's blowouts, to be able to make that case.
So you're saying it's more about the eye test, and we're going to have to run it up on people to get some favorable marks.
I think it is, because on the flip side of that, I think Ohio State could actually lose a game to not Michigan or Penn State, but they could lose one to Indiana, say, because Justin Fields and a couple other guys are out or something, and you know, over something stupid like that. But when Justin's back in, we still blow everyone out. I still think we could get in possibly.
Okay. Jeff, what do you think? You think a 6-0 or 7-0 gets us in, or you think the playoff committee is going to have a hard time with that?
I think, like Sean was saying, I think the eye test will carry more weight this year than most, because there's going to be uneven numbers. At least uneven numbers. Maybe if it's, you know, between Clemson, Alabama, us, and Oklahoma, you know, some play 8, some play 9, some play 7, whatever.
Right.
So, but I've also heard some of these experts or whatever the fuck talking about the playoff committee is going to come out with that possibly could come out with like an outline on like what they're allowing, or like what if there's limitations, like you have like a minimum amount of games played to be eligible. Mm-hmm. I heard that there might be like the CFP might be putting something like that together. I think Heather Dinich was talking about it.
That's interesting.
Like they may come out and kind of give guidelines or whatever. Like but I think like the but should they allow 6-0 Ohio State to if this is if everybody else plays 8 or 9, right? At least. I mean, like so,
right.
like
that's right. That's
in case,
assuming that the ACC and SEC pull off a full 10-game schedule,
and for us to play like maybe 6, that would be an odd occurrence for us to play that many less. But anyways, I think they would. I think if we looked like they thought we would look, being this preseason number 2, everybody thought we were either a national championship team or at least a playoff team. I think that was a consensus around the national landscape. If we play 6 games and look like they thought we would be the number 2 team, if they thought, if we looked like how everybody thought we would, I think 6 games might get us in, unless there's like 6 other undefeated teams. You know what I'm saying? Like
I would love to see this be the year that conference winners from each of the 4 that are playing. Pac-10, you're not playing, so no one cares about you anyway. But you go.
It works out
ACC,
perfect now.
SEC.
Now we don't have to mention the Pac-12. It works out perfect.
Yeah.
Not that we had too much before, but
Right.
they would always just screwed it up, that odd number.
Yeah,
No one wants you here. Pac.
Or does this open the
Right.
door for them to expand the playoff to 6 or 8?
This would be the best if you ever wanted to flirt with it and just to see, because they're not beholden to it, right? The contract's the contract. If they want to alter the contract this year, you got to get everybody to agree. But there is a contract to have a certain amount of teams for a certain amount of years.
Yeah, it's all about the TV partners. And
the TV partners, of course, the TV partners are going to say, "Yeah, let's talk Turkey, because we'd love to show 2 more games." Sure,
I mean, the Big Ten.
And this would be the best time to flirt with it. See if 6 teams is worth it. Give 2 teams a bye or whatever.
Would benefit. I haven't seen the numbers yet, but the rest of sports seem to be tanking. I got a feeling that the excitement, not around Buckeyes fans in particular, but around a lot of the people I live around, the excitement for college football isn't there. And to get creative with something like that, I think potentially could, boost the mentality, the support around Big Ten in particular, but college football in general.
Well, look, the Big Ten's doing it already.
Talk about a rebound. Talk about a rebound if the Big Ten pushed for it.
This Champions Week that is December 19th, that week leading up to the Big Ten championship game, they're flirting with an idea that they've been kicking around, and let's give it a try now. So, yeah, maybe the CFP talks about, the 4 conference winners and then 2 at-large teams, and they do bye weeks.
No, I've never got on board with the 6. You're either going to make it 8 or don't do it.
Really? So you're okay. So I was showing too. I didn't know you were either making 4 or 8. Yeah. I never heard you express an opinion to what number.
Yeah, I don't like that because 1 and 2 then get buys, and now what's the argument between 2 and 3? It just, let's make it fair. Everybody's playing the same number of games. There's no buys for nobody.
I agree with the no buys. I would play the 1 and 2 seeds playing the 5 and the 6. I mean, I would be cool with that too. 1 6 5.
No,
2.
It's got to be 1 8 2 7 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would be good with 8 teams because we would have been in the playoff every year for the last 7.
Yeah.
Sure.
Even the top 6, we would have been, I think, in the playoff every year for the last 7. But regardless,
and that wouldn't have sucked.
No, but I mean, because you never know. We had those 1 shit games. That we were flawed in a few departments a few years, but we were good enough to win any game against anybody, any of those years.
For sure.
With Haskins at quarterback, with JT at quarterback, with Fields at quarterback.
At least through the first round, maybe the second, but yeah.
And we had players that could have made plays in big games. They could have turned the game. You know what I mean? Like we had players at every position between those years of 15 to 19. Dude, if we would have been in a 16 playoff, we would have been in every year. I think we would have gotten at least 1 more title. We would have had 6. Out of those 7 chances, or out of those 6 chances, I think we would have cashed in at least 1 of them. Regardless,
the college football committee, if we come in there at like a freaking 7-0 Big Ten champs, but we got a 9-1 Bama, a 10-0 Clemson, and probably a 10-0 either Oklahoma or Texas. I don't know, man. I don't feel good about that.
That's the thing.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, those are the 3 that are getting in. Okay, you got Bama, you got Clemson, and you got Oklahoma.
So you got
a spot left.
So now is Texas's only loss to Oklahoma, and is Georgia's only loss to Alabama?
No way 2 Big 12s are getting in. Maybe LSU or Georgia or Florida or somebody like
Joe, that. I see the argument you're making, Joe. If Ohio State plays only 6 games, and then you have a 9-1 Texas or a 9-1 Georgia, and we play 6 games, that looks bad.
9-1 Florida.
9-1 Florida. That's what I'm saying. Florida, Georgia, whichever one loses to Bama. I guess we're just assuming, Bama's going. But Bama has those games every year, every now and then too.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah, but
Bama,
they don't get North Carolina, Coastal State, Southeast this year.
Well, I don't know. I think if the college football playoff puts out something, some kind of release, then that would give us that would give everybody a lot more understanding.
Does the SEC have bye weeks?
I don't.
They're starting Saturday. They're starting this coming Saturdays when they start.
Yeah, they
and
should
they're
have
going. Well, do the math. I mean, we can. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I'm not looking at the phone, but
they have plenty of room built in, I believe.
Their conference game scheduled for the 12th. Their conference championship.
Right.
So they're only a week ahead of us. Just 1 week.
So they're going straight through too. I mean, that's a grind.
That looks
SEC.
straight through. Isn't that 9 weeks? I mean, different public schools. My math ain't great, but
6, 8, 10. I got 12-week.
I love this. This is good airtime. Looking at a calendar to add up how many of these fucking hillbillies are going to be able to play football.
Get my wheel out.
I got 11 weeks. So yeah, everybody gets a bye in the SEC. One bye. There's an 11-week schedule, and then the 12th week would be the championship game, and you got one bye mixed in there for everybody.
So they're playing.
So yeah, pretty much straight through, other than 1 week.
And they're playing 10 games.
10 games, yeah.
10 games
So
scheduled, right?
10. So they're playing 10 SEC opponents.
No, they're still not playing. They're not playing a 10-game conference schedule.
No, they're all conference. Yeah, they're playing 10 conference.
The SEC, they're playing all 10 conference games. Yeah. I did not think.
That's a man's game right there.
That is. I mean, that is. I mean, so you're right. Bring more to your argument, Joe. More to your argument. Like, if there's a 1-loss Georgia, 1-loss Florida, does 6-0 Ohio State get in over them? We would have to look like the number 2 team in the country or the number 1 team in the country. I mean, we would have to look dominant.
How do you look like that against fucking Illinois, Indiana, Maryland? I mean, how do you look like that?
Well, you
can say that.
You scored 60 a game.
Won't have them, and we won't have the Michigan game. Maybe is what you're saying. If we only get 6 games in, like, which games are we playing? Which games are we missing? That's a big hypothetical for us to play 6 and them to play 9 or 10. Who knows, man? Fuck. I know it probably doesn't look good if you play 3 less games. That 3 or 4 less games against inferior talent than what the other teams played. No, it doesn't look good. But that's a big hypothetical, man. That's a big hypothetical. For them down south for them to play their full seasons and us, or I say the Big Ten, us being, not being able to, that just seems, I don't know.
It's a major concern, man. Especially
it is. I mean, if that would be the worst possible thing if these guys all come back and we go through all this bullshit.
Right.
And they only get to play a limited amount of games, and they still don't make the playoff. Holy shit! Like this, is this going to put is this putting more pressure on these kids, on this class, this outgoing class than there should be? Because these guys are like, it's make it or break it. Because we fought for all this. Is that too much pressure?
I don't think those guys take it like that. I read something.
It's national title or bust. I mean, that's why. I mean, these guys have pretty much all said it. That's the mindset.
But the mindset is also you control what you can control to get that national championship. So, all they can do is go out there and put that product out there, and they can't control anything else.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Just go to work.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know if they look dominant. You got to think. I mean, everybody in the country knows how talented this team is. If they go out and look every part of what people think, I think if people get a good enough look at it, they're going to have the Penn State game. You would imagine, at least. That's the
Yeah,
the
blow
best
them
count.
out.
So they were able. So outside looking in, they played the best team on their schedule and they won handedly. Say,
I can get a
You
good
know.
look at a T-bone by sticking my head up a butcher's ass.
I'm,
Wait, it has to be
wait a minute.
Up your butcher's ass?
it has to be the other cow. No, forget it.
Charlie.
All right, boys. Good show. Top notch. Way to bring the fire, bring the heat. As always, folks, this is your best commercial-free Ohio State podcast. Don't forget, ask Alexa to play the Buckeye Cast and subscribe. Follow the show. Hit us up. Hit the supply store. Sean, thank you for your
Piss
time.
off.
All right. Jeff, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And have a good evening. Later.